It is ready for some Larkspur. Dual lit channel letters on a Raceway. Not so much channel letters, pretty straightforward, but we're going to go over the Raceway. So parts are broken out as follows. Got your lids, frame parts for the Raceway. Got a new design on letter supports, we'll go over that. Contour backers. And we got a power box custom. Got some polycarb backers and some acrylic letter faces. All right, so like I said, you got 3" deep off the coil, regular channel letters, no big deal there. So doing a 3-part Raceway that the seams will tuck behind the contours of the letters. So be on the lookout for that. Don't have to really worry about, these don't go together in the shop. They'll just the whole thing gets sent over in 3 pieces. Install, worry about that. Keep an eye out when you do put these together, the interior pieces here have the little hole in them. So the one without the hole obviously goes on the very end over here, and the one without the hole goes over here. So that way the holes line up, they can run the wire through the leashes. So as it breaks down, you got this section, you got these lids, got slices here for the supports, got your lids. I've got everything scored where each letter support goes. So look for that, so you kind of know which side's which. These letter supports are new. So you're going to bend up this piece first, clamp it down, bend it, and then you stick this into the brake this way, bend it up, and you're going to have a nice one piece. It's a multi-function letter support, as you can see here with these holes. This is going to be where these are the jigs for the top part of the Raceway. So the Raceway is basically one of our normal little boxes we make, except we're going to turn it 90 degrees and kind of have the opening up. So that's kind of how it's going to look. So if you're looking at it from the top, that's how it is here. So you'll see like this is the L, that's the L, this is the I. You'll see that corresponds to this guy here, and that's the L. So you can see where that's the bent piece. So the bent piece is going to be our jig that holds the top part together. What that's going to give us, unlike any other Raceways we've made, and going forward, I'd like to know how this goes together. This might be something that we investigate going forward, how we're going to do these, because I think this is going to be a really good solution. It's going to be really strong. And what's nice is this is completely open. So this will, on smaller raceways like this, I think this will negate the need to have a middle brace stuff in the middle there where it's all kind of in the way and kind of pain in the butt. So you're just going to take your channels here. They're uneven channels, so make sure the longer part goes to the bottom, the smaller part goes to the top, and you're just going to go ahead and hold them together with the jigs that are the letter supports. Now you'll notice that I have them carved on the sides of the frames, or on the box of the Raceway parts there, the box. So you'll see there's the L, that's the L, that's the I. That is where that support goes. So be on the lookout for that. And then from the bottom, you'll just have one big continuous jig that'll go on the inside. So look for this. And again, this lets you know, you just line up this L here with that L, that A with that A, you'll know you're in the right spot. This is to the back, and obviously with the one with all the holes in it is to the front. So put this onto the inside like one big jig on the bottom, and then the top jigs will be the letter braces, like I said. Now you will have, because some of these letter braces are a little bit far apart, so keep an eye out for these guys. There's a few single jigs that will show up, so keep an eye out for them. There's one, and there's one. And that'll help kind of fill in the gaps between the letter braces. But as you can see, this method will leave all of this open here, 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 so lots of access for install. Now, install is going to have to put this on some kind of corrugated roof, so there are no mounting holes whatsoever. So this is just going to be completely blank for them, and they can shoot holes wherever they want, wherever this lands for them. So that being said, let's see, I think that's it for that. I think you got all that. So, but anyway, you're just going to make sure you weld The brace is really good from the top. Obviously you can't get in there from anywhere else. So really you're just welding along this top ledge. Go ahead and make sure you give this more than 1 or 2 tacks, maybe like a little baby bead, or make sure you get at least like 4 tacks or something, because you're gonna grind this flat. Once you've got it taken care of, you're going to grind that flat so that the lid sits flat. But of course, grinding that's going to compromise that weld. So make sure that you do a decent weld along the little tops here to hold the top of this together. You'll have your corner jigs. Keep an eye out for those. Those are part of it. And also keep an eye out for the fact that some of these, like the P here, is the corner jig as well. So this serves as the corner jig. So when you see these holes here, make sure you put that in there, tuck it in nice, and make sure you weld this really well, because that's going to be, that is the corner jig. It's going to hold that together. And then if you can get the gun in there, you can weld from the top down and get around the edge of this guy, but you can also flip it over. This would be the bottom. It's closed up a little more, but you can also tack along the bottom there. Clean all that up, make it sexy. Then what you're going to do is just bend this piece here. What this piece is going to do is just add even more strength, and this makes the lip in order to hide the lid from the front, the lids. So you can see the blue here. You can see where that fits in. Boom. So you're going to make the Raceway parts here, and then you're just going to lords that piece right into there, and use the Cleco holes and everything, and you're just going to lords that all in one piece. So that way, this gives us almost 3/8 of mounting strength. So even though we don't have any braces in here, the fact that this will be lords to the whole Raceway will give it a nice thick wall here. And then by the time you end up putting the contour on there as well, you're going to have that all nice, and this is nice thick strength for mounting all this stuff. So now you'll have your inside jig piece, which is that green piece there. You'll have the actual frame, and then you'll have this lords to that. So this gives us almost 5/16, almost 3/8 of an inch of strength when they go to bolt this down. That's why I'm kind of liking this design. If this works with this sort of like one piece thing here, and all that, then if that works, then we might look forward to kind of maybe settling on this for this type of Raceway going forward. Again, it gets rid of any sort of like fiddly middle parts. You have to do a lot of bending and stuff like that. So like I say, you get this all made up as a nice box, and then you're just gonna candy coat it with a kind of this shell. Make sure you get a good lords on there, and make sure this is slightly overcooked. If anything, that way it kind of squishes in nice and tight. You don't want this to be less than 90 and sort of poking out, looking all weird, you know what I mean? So you want to make sure that's clamped up really nice and tight. That way, you want to make sure it sits up there just really good. So once you get all that, then it's time to just put the contour backers on. I'd like to see at least 1 or 2 safety, countersunks with the lords, but you're just basically going to lord this pad on here, and then you're just going to obviously lords it to the front of the Raceway here. You'll see the ones in green. Doesn't matter. These are also rivet holes, but those are your Cleco holes there in green, just for reference. So I've got like 2 here, and I got 2 here. The ones that are all in a straight line here are the ones that kind of line up with the like L piece, and then the Raceway front. You can see it's right there. So just the differences between. Now on the contours, I went ahead and put a reference kiss around these holes here. These are important on the L's. These are the only ones. I was able to keep all other mounting screws off of the Raceway, which makes it easier. So all of the other backers, you're going to take these, a number 10 screw from the back, either do machine screw or machine thread. Don't even need to really thread. You don't need to tap the polycarb. You can just shoot it through with a machine, or a number 10 sheet metal screw. Either way, but just let it go long into the right there into the backer, so you don't have to worry about doing studs and clipping it with nuts and all that, making it look not sexy. But the one for the L's though, obviously they had to go into the Raceway. So they're the opposite. They're going to shoot from the front in. So you might want to do maybe a sheet metal screw or tap those. But what you'll notice is on the backer, I put a light V-bit reference kiss on the contour. So that way also, when prep goes through, let prep know that don't bondo these holes. These holes here do not get bondoed. All the rest of them, they can get bondoed, other than the power holes, obviously. So, but that's just on the L's. So that is why there's a reference kiss around those. So give a heads up to paint that you don't bondo these holes shut. Everything else, once these contours are on, they can be bondoed up. And I also made sure that at least one mounting screw goes through each of these brackets into the backer. So it's kind of a nice little strategy there. It all worked out real nice. So that way we have a positive mechanical attachment as well going through the backer here, into that. So that'll work. So if that makes sense to you, I think that's about it. You got your lids will go on. You got screws from the back. I already talked to install. They're going to go ahead and drill their hole for the secondary out, because we have these basically gaping holes in the top. No way to seal this. This is going to be water all day. So we're going to go ahead and do a custom power supply box that's going to go somewhere on the roof behind it. It's too far to make a run with one of our Mark 6s to an attic. So we're just going to go ahead and do this guy. So similar usual construction, you do the outside, you slide in the bottom. There's a little divider here. You're just going to rivet that in. That's going to be a divider for the switch and primary versus, this here. That isolates that. You got your ends. Make sure you've got the switch side over here. That's this side. It's got a custom plate. The plate is going to go, this is going to go horizontal. So you're going to go plates on the inside. You'll be able to do the screws from the outside in, and that'll take care of that. And then just go ahead and put these on the back side here for the power out. That's all switch side. And then make sure that you rivet this bottom plate to the bottom, and then that will give the ability to screw this down. So this is just going to be an added piece to the bottom here that's just going to give a flange for mounting, like you see here. It's just going to stick out the sides, and this shouldn't be any much taller than this guy here, so that way you can't really see it. So, and you have your lid, the usual 90-90, and then just bend these as far as they'll go, 45 or whatever, and that'll protect the switch. So got a low rider, low boy, body drop power supply box. So that's it. So channel letters, all that, but I think it should make sense to you guys. So any questions, let me know.